What if the very first moments of your morning held the power to shape your entire day, and even your life, before the world floods in with distractions, obligations, and noise? There is a sacred space, just a few quiet minutes, where you get to choose who you will be today. Not just a routine, a ritual, not a checklist, a declaration of self-respect. Pause. Right now. Take a deep breath. This isn't just another sunrise, it's a fresh chance, a rare opportunity to begin again, to ground yourself in gratitude before the day drags you into its whirlwind. Feel the rhythm of your breath, the strength in your heartbeat, the sheer miracle that you woke up today. That in itself is a gift, one we often overlook. So don't let it slip past you. Set a clear intention for yourself, not to impress the world, not to check boxes, but to move with purpose, to feel fulfillment from within. What will you do today that aligns with who you truly are? As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is your moment. Take the lead. Don't let the day define you. Define the day. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic philosophy can act as a compass, a steady guide to help you live with calm, focus, and deep personal meaning. Because each morning is not just a reset button, it's a quiet revolution. 1. Set clear goals and intentions. Each new day offers a blank page, a rare chance to do better than yesterday, to step closer to the version of yourself you're striving to become. Yet in a world brimming with distractions, it's easy to lose direction. That's why setting intentions is vital, not just for productivity, but for clarity, for control, for peace. Think of yourself as a sailor on a vast ocean. Without a rudder or a map, where will you go? The wind decides your fate, but with intention, you steer your course even when the waves get rough. Intentions are your internal compass. They help you navigate the storms, stay steady in the chaos, and act with purpose rather than reactivity. Start simply. Ask yourself, what do I want to experience or accomplish today, and why does it matter? You don't need big, flashy goals. What matters is that your intention is clear, focused, and meaningful. Instead of saying, I just want to have a good day, try, I will speak with patience and kindness to those I care about. Small intentions, when rooted in awareness, create lasting change. Imagine this. You're getting ready for a morning walk. You could just go through the motions, or you set the intention. I will use this walk to breathe deeply, connect with nature, and quiet my mind. That simple shift turns an ordinary routine into a moment of renewal, a meaningful act of presence. And that's how you begin to reshape your life one morning at a time. To discipline, the silent partner of intention. Once you've set your intention for the day, what keeps it alive when motivation fades? The answer is discipline, the quiet force that turns your best intentions into real, lasting action. Not every day will feel inspired. You won't always wake up bursting with energy. But that's exactly when discipline becomes your greatest ally. It's not a punishment. It's a powerful gift, a tool that helps you stay on track when life tries to pull you off course. Discipline frees you from the noise and temptations that steal your focus. And every time you follow through on even the smallest promise, you made to yourself, you do more than inch closer to your goals. You strengthen your self-respect. You build inner trust. You tell yourself, I show up. I keep my word. Here's a simple but powerful example. Let's say you set an intention to spend 30 minutes each day listening to your children or partner, free from judgment or distraction. At first, it may feel like another item on your to-do list, but stay consistent. Over time, this small daily action becomes a sacred habit, one that builds trust, deepens relationships, and reveals the beauty in life's quiet moments. Your intentions don't have to be grand, and your execution doesn't need to be perfect. What matters is that you show up with patience, with heart, and with commitment to yourself, because each day that you honor your intention is a step forward in your long-term journey. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. So don't let your time slip away unnoticed. Let your morning intentions, guided by discipline, help you make the most of each moment and craft a life worth remembering. Wake up each day not just with gratitude, but with a clear plan to move toward your higher self. Do this consistently, and you won't just master the day, you build a meaningful future from the inside out. When discipline becomes freedom, as discipline takes root in your life, something incredible begins to happen. What once felt like a heavy effort starts to feel natural, almost automatic. The resistance fades, and with that shift comes something even more powerful than goal achievement: freedom. Because when you build discipline, you gain control over your time, your energy, and your decisions. You no longer let fleeting emotions steer your day. You're not a slave to comfort or distraction. You are the one in command. Of course, there will be moments when discipline feels difficult, especially when you're tired, overwhelmed, or discouraged. But here's the truth. The discomfort of discipline is temporary. The regret of inaction, that lasts far longer. Picture someone committed to staying healthy. One night, they're staring at a decadent slice of cake. There's a moment of inner conflict, that familiar tug of war between short-term pleasure and long-term purpose. But when they choose to stay true to their goals, something remarkable happens. Yes, they maintain their progress, but more than that, they build self-pride, self-respect, integrity. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build slowly, from the ground up. It begins with the tiniest habits: making your bed in the morning, planning your day, taking 5 minutes to reflect in silence. Small, unglamorous actions, but together, they become the bedrock of a life well lived. And over time, discipline does more than create habits. It shapes who you are. It becomes your signature, your legacy. Because in the end, discipline isn't just about reaching goals, it's about how you walk through life. It's about the example you set, the consistency you carry, and the inspiration you give others through how you live. So ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind in this life? If your answer truly matters, then discipline is the path that gets you there. It is the compass that keeps you moving forward, especially when temptation and distraction try to lead you astray. With discipline, each day becomes a deliberate step toward the extraordinary version of yourself you're meant to become. Free, Focus on service and know that we've looked inward. It's time to look outward, because the Stoics remind us life's greatest satisfaction doesn't come from what we gather but from what we give. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most powerful voices, once said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." That single sentence redefines purpose. It reminds us that service isn't just a duty, it's a doorway to transcendence. It lifts us beyond our individual limitations and connects us to something bigger. At the heart of service is this core belief that the true meaning of life is not found in self-indulgence, but in contribution. When we serve others even in the smallest ways, we escape the narrow confines of ego and step into the wide space of shared humanity. Think about it. A kind word, a sincere smile, a moment of presence for someone who's hurting. These simple gestures cost us almost nothing, yet they can change someone's entire day or even their life. And in giving, we ourselves are nourished. We begin to understand that fulfillment doesn't come from getting more, but from meaning more to others. Take the story of Anthony Ray Hinton, a man wrongfully imprisoned on death row for nearly 30 years. Most would have crumbled under the weight of that injustice. But Hinton chose a different path. He turned inward not in despair, but in purpose. He befriended his fellow inmates. He brought them laughter. He gave them hope. His humanity remained unbroken, and in doing so, he lifted others even in the darkest place imaginable. When he was finally exonerated, it was clear it wasn't bitterness that had sustained him, it was service. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the harshest conditions, the choice to serve can lead us toward strength, resilience, and meaning. Serving others doesn't deplete us. It expands us. It humbles us. It grounds us in gratitude. And it shows us that hardships aren't walls, they're doors. Service begins with small step. Service doesn't require grand acts or dramatic gestures. Often, the most powerful impact starts quietly, with the simplest intention: to help, to listen, to care. In Stoicism, we're encouraged to view challenges not as burdens, but as opportunities. Opportunities to grow not just for ourselves, but so that we can support others more effectively. When you face adversity, ask yourself, how can this experience shape me into someone who serves others better? That subtle shift in thinking changes everything. It transforms suffering into growth, and growth into purpose. It connects your personal resilience to something larger than yourself, your community, your family, your world. You don't have to wait for the right moment to serve. Start now. Start small. Listen more than you speak. Offer help without being asked. Share what you know with someone who could benefit. These small actions create a ripple effect that moves far beyond what we can see. Imagine the impact if every person committed to just one act of kindness per day, one moment of empathy, one helping hand. Over time, this adds up to real change, not just in our own lives, but in the world around us. True greatness, according to Stoic wisdom, isn't found in wealth, fame, or accolades. It's found in how many lives you touch, in how many people you uplift. By focusing on service, we reconnect with the heart of what it means to be human, to live with love, purpose, and connection. Serving others affirms that we are not alone. It reminds us that fulfillment doesn't come from chasing selfish goals, but from sharing experiences, building bonds, and walking this life with others by our side. So ask yourself, how can I bring the spirit of service into my everyday routine? Have you ever experienced a moment when serving someone else brought you unexpected joy, insight, or healing? We'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's build a space where kindness and meaning are always present. Let's remind each other that in serving others, we serve ourselves too. For practice humility from service, we move naturally to a virtue that supports it, humility. In Stoic thought, humility is not weakness. It is quiet strength, a calm recognition that our talents, our wisdom, and even our accomplishments are not for boasting but for sharing. Humility grounds us. It protects us from the trap of arrogance and reminds us that every person we meet can teach us something valuable. When we approach life with humility, we become students not just of books or philosophy but of experience. It invites growth. It opens doors, and perhaps most importantly, it gives us the courage to be authentic. The humble person doesn't need to pretend to know it all. They listen. They stay curious. They appreciate what others bring to the table. They know that success isn't a solo act, and failure doesn't define them. Author Jim Collins, in his book Good to Great, studied the world's most impactful leaders. He found that the greatest among them, what he called level 5 leaders, combined fierce professional will with deep personal humility. These leaders didn't brag. They credited their teams, their circumstances, even luck. And what did they gain in return? Respect, loyalty, lasting collaboration. Their humility laid the foundation for legacies that far outlived their time in power. Humility, you see, is also the key to authentic relationships. When we let go of ego and truly listen to others, something changes. Walls come down. Trust grows. Real connection takes root. Because where humility lives, there's no room for arrogance. And in its absence, we find a community grounded in respect, compassion, and understanding. The quiet power of humility doesn't just transform how we connect with others, it reshapes how we handle life's highs and lows. In both success and failure, humility becomes our grounding force, reminding us to stay balanced, grateful, and open when we succeed. Humility nudges us to remember where we began and who helped us get here. No accomplishment exists in a vacuum. Every triumph stands on a foundation laid by the sacrifices, encouragement, and guidance of others. And when we stumble, humility offers resilience. Instead of collapsing under the weight of failure or harsh criticism, we can view those moments as valuable feedback, not as a reflection of our worth, but as stepping stones toward growth. As Seneca wisely said, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. The humble dare to try. They accept the risk of falling because they know that growth cannot happen without vulnerability. Humility naturally gives rise to gratitude. When we live humbly, we start to notice and appreciate life's everyday blessings, the smile of a friend, the patience of a mentor, or even the peace of a quiet morning. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we can give. It inspires us to contribute, to lift others up, and to share whatever light we carry. And true humility doesn't mean shrinking ourselves or dimming our strengths. On the contrary, it allows our light to shine even brighter, not through comparison or ego, but through kindness, sincerity, and integrity. The truly humble don't seek applause. They live in alignment. And that quiet consistency speaks louder than any accolades. When we embrace humility, we unlock a quiet power of strength that helps us face not only life's setbacks, but its celebrations with grace. Still, Stoicism reminds us that humility is just one piece of a greater whole. Next, we explore another pillar of Stoic wisdom: facing your fears. How did Stoic philosophers handle fear? How did they transform it from something that cripples into something that fuels growth? Let's find out. 5. Face your fears. Fear is one of the most primal instincts we possess. It's woven into our biology. But while it once protected us from real threats, today fear often becomes the invisible cage that keeps us from living fully. To face your fears is not simply to act, it is to declare that you will not live as a prisoner of circumstance. When fear takes over, your world begins to shrink. You second-guess your worth. You hesitate to take risks. You replay what-ifs until doubt becomes your default state. But courage changes everything, because beyond fear lies a life waiting to be lived boldly, freely, meaningfully. First, understand this. Fear isn't evil. It's a survival mechanism. It alerts us to danger. But in the modern world, most fears are not life-threatening. They're internal stories, assumptions, echoes of past experiences. Have you ever panicked before giving a presentation? Feared judgment or failure, only to realize afterward that the worst never actually happened? That's the illusion of fear. That's the mind spinning a story that's bigger than the reality. When you step back and examine your fear, ask yourself, is this a true threat or just a mental projection? Most often, it's the latter. And by rewriting that story, by seeing fear as a messenger, not a master, you begin the process of transformation. Fear, when left unchallenged, grows. But when faced head-on, it shrinks. Take the example of someone afraid of swimming. Maybe they had one bad experience, and ever since, the water feels like a wall. But does that mean they're incapable of learning? Of course not. It's not the water, it's the memory, the fear. But what happens if they take that first step into the pool? Fear, a gateway, not a wall in the beginning. Facing your fear might feel impossible. Every step can seem heavy, every thought filled with doubt. But here's the truth: progress doesn't require a giant leap. It begins with one small step, one moment of courage, and over time, those steps become strides. Even if the worst were to happen, you're not alone. You can lean on others, friends, mentors, or those who have walked the same path for guidance and support. Fear loses its grip when we realize we're not facing it in isolation. Take another example. Fear of heights. Imagine standing on the edge of a low cliff. The wind presses gently against your skin, and your heart begins to race. Your legs stiffen. Your breath shortens. Every cell urges you to back away. But instead, you breathe, you stay, and then, with steady focus, you take one small step forward. Something shifts. Something inside you changes. You reach the top and realize that the fear was never in the cliff. It was in your mind. And now, it's behind you. That moment isn't just about reaching the summit. It's about reaching yourself, your courage, your willpower, your truth. Strangely enough, fear often guards the doorway to our most meaningful growth. Everything worthwhile, personal transformation, big dreams, emotional breakthroughs, it all lives just beyond fear's border. When you challenge fear, you stretch your comfort zone. You tap into abilities you didn't know you had. You build strength, not just muscle, but the kind of internal strength that lasts a lifetime. Think of an artist paralyzed by stage fright, but who dares to step into the spotlight? Or a young person leaving behind everything familiar to pursue their passion. Different stories, same outcome. They are becoming more themselves with each bold move. Facing fear doesn't mean erasing it. It means walking with it. It means saying, "You may ride beside me, but you won't steer." And with every courageous action, confidence grows, like ascending a mountain. Each step makes the air clearer, the view wider, and slowly you begin to see. Fear wasn't your enemy, it was your compass. It was pointing you toward your freedom, your dreams, your calling. So start small. If public speaking terrifies you, begin by striking up a conversation with a stranger. If change overwhelms you, shift one daily habit. And don't forget, the right people can help you climb. Seek them out. Let them remind you that you're capable. Fear isn't a curse, it's a coach, a guide. It tests you, but it also teaches you. And when you rise above it, you discover not just the life you want, but the person you were always meant to become. So take that step, because on the other side of fear lies your freedom. 6. Faith in yourself after fear. What remains? Belief. The kind of unshakable belief that roots you through storms and lifts you through success. Self-confidence isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. It's the inner belief that you can meet your goals, face challenges, take risks, and survive. The outcomes. When you truly believe in yourself, something powerful happens. You act not from pressure, but from purpose. This belief becomes a driving force on your path of self-growth. It doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it means you'll keep walking no matter what. And here's a truth often forgotten. Your worth isn't defined by what you've achieved. You are already enough, right now, even if the world hasn't recognized your greatness yet. Your value doesn't come from applause, titles, or achievements. It comes from within, from self-awareness and self-respect. You define your worth, and that definition must be rooted in who you are, not just what you've done, of course. Self-belief is a journey, and along the way, you will stumble. You'll face rejection, criticism, and failure. That's part of it. But the question isn't, will I fall? The question is, will I rise? And with each rise, you gather strength. With each mistake, you gain wisdom. With every step forward, you shape the strongest, truest version of yourself. Persistence is your fuel, and belief is your compass. Self-belief, a daily practice of power. Every path worth taking is lined with challenges. Obstacles will arise. Doubt will whisper. Fear will follow. That's normal. But the key to pushing through isn't talent. It isn't even luck. It's belief in yourself, steady and unwavering. Whenever you begin a new journey, it's natural to feel unsure. But self-belief becomes the lens that lets you see beyond difficulty. It reveals the opportunity hiding inside every setback and the lesson tucked within each mistake. Failure, it's not the end. It's a beginning if you're willing to learn. History is filled with people who succeeded not because of perfect conditions, but because of unshakable self-trust. They failed, they struggled, but they got back up. Take Thomas Edison. The man who lit the world wasn't immune to failure, far from it. He once said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's success didn't come from sheer luck. It came from his refusal to quit, from the belief that he was capable of trying again, and again, and again. This is the power of perseverance rooted in self-belief. It's not a what-I'm decision. It's a practice, a commitment you renew every single day. To believe in yourself isn't to ignore your flaws. It's to see your full humanity and still say, "I am enough. I am capable. I am becoming." That mindset is shaped by self-awareness and self-acceptance. It shields you from the false belief that you must be perfect to be worthy. Instead, it allows you to find fulfillment in every small victory, every step forward. So trust yourself. Embrace the failures. Welcome the discomfort. And through it all, treat yourself with love and respect. Do not let doubt define you. Each new day is another chance to build that belief stronger. And as you begin to live this way, you'll see your challenges in a new light, not as enemies, but as essential companions on your path. They're here to sharpen you, to push you, to elevate your potential. But now, ask yourself honestly, are you ready to live fully in the present? Or will you continue worrying about a future that hasn't yet arrived? Because the next part of this journey is all about mastering your most powerful possession, this moment. 7. Live fully in the present. It's easy to get swept away by regrets of the past, by fears of the future. But in doing so, we miss the only place where life actually happens, the present moment. To live fully, to truly feel fulfilled, you must learn to live here, now, because this moment is all we ever really have. Living in the present is not just a feel-good idea. It's a practice, a discipline, a way of returning to yourself and what truly matters. When you root yourself in the now, you begin to reconnect with life on a deeper level. You notice things. The golden morning light streaming through the window, the warmth in a loved one's voice, the stillness between heartbeats. And you realize life isn't waiting for you at the finish line of your goals. It's happening now in these small, sacred moments. This awareness brings a different kind of fulfillment. It's the joy found in quiet conversations, in the comfort of routine, in the peaceful breath that reminds you you are alive. Even the great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this. As a man of power, he lived with constant pressure and anxiety about what lay ahead. But in his personal writings, He repeatedly emphasized the importance of staying present. Why? Because even for a ruler of an empire, the future was uncertain. But this moment, this breath, it was real. It was his. The present, your anchor in uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius, even as a Roman emperor, didn't let fear of the future distract him from what mattered most, the present moment. When faced with complex decisions or high-stakes situations, he didn't spiral into what-ifs. Instead, he asked, "What action can I take right now?" He responded to life as it unfolded, not based on future projections, but grounded in the here and now. That ability to stay present became his strength. It helped him stay composed in crisis, wise in leadership, and deeply anchored in personal dignity. Living in the moment doesn't just help us handle stress, it helps us make better decisions. When we're not overwhelmed by future worries or burdened by past mistakes, we're more available to meet the present with clarity and calm. And in truth, the only thing we ever control is our response. When the mind is steady, even the hardest challenge becomes manageable. Presence also transforms how we connect with others. Think about this. How often are you truly present in your conversations? To live in the moment is to bring your full attention to each interaction, to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. That kind of presence becomes an act of love. It nurtures trust, it creates safety, and it deepens relationships far more than any grand gesture could. And there's more. Living in the present is a powerful antidote to anxiety. Why? Because the past is already written, and the future, it doesn't exist yet. So why carry the weight of what you cannot control? When we stay grounded in the now, we free ourselves from needless worry. We find peace, even in the storm. Life is not just about goals, destinations, or someday victories. Happiness isn't hiding in the future. It's woven into every step you take right now. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Every moment, yes, even this one, is a chance to live deeply, to breathe fully, and to create a life that reflects your truest values. 8. Say positive words now. Imagine this. It's morning. You open your eyes. What's the first thing that crosses your mind? Is it a cascade of worries, or a moment of quiet gratitude? Life may not always be easy, but what truly shapes your experience isn't the circumstance. It's how you face it. And one of the most powerful tools you have, your words. Positive words are not empty slogans or fluffy affirmations. They are real forces, capable of shaping your mindset, your mood, and even your actions. When you begin your day by speaking words of encouragement, hope, and strength, something changes. You don't just uplift yourself. You create an environment where growth feels possible. You give others permission to believe too. Positive words are seeds. Plant them daily, and they'll take root in your soul. They'll grow into confidence, into resilience, into calm strength. But let's be clear, being positive doesn't mean denying hardship. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. True positivity is courageous. It's the ability to see a challenge and still choose hope, to sit in discomfort and still say, "There is light ahead. I will get through this." Speaking positively means focusing on what's possible, on what you can learn, on what you can do next. Stop. This is the Stoic mindset. I may not control what happens to me, but I always control how I respond. And that response begins with the words you choose. Speak life into your day in the quiet moments of your daily life. The words you speak to yourself carry immense weight. They are not background noise, they are instructions to your mind and heart. Think about the difference between saying, "I can't do this," and "I'm learning. This challenge is helping me grow." It may seem small, but that shift in language creates a ripple effect. Your energy changes. Your mindset opens. Your motivation rises. Words aren't just sounds. They're tools for transformation. Every time you use positive, empowering words, you reinforce your belief in your ability to handle life. You create a nurturing mental environment, one rooted in love, possibility, and connection. And over time, those words become your inner voice, the one that says, "Keep going. You've got this. You're not alone." A powerful example of this is J.K. Rowling, the creator of the magical world of Harry Potter. Long before fame, she faced overwhelming struggles, poverty, rejection, depression. She could have given up, but instead, she clung to a simple, powerful phrase. "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." That one line, spoken in her darkest moments, helped her turn setbacks into stepping stones. Her success wasn't just built on talent. It was built on positive self-talk, words that kept her moving forward, one page at a time. And these words don't just affect you. They ripple out into your relationships. When you speak with kindness, when you encourage others, listen deeply, and offer honest support, you build a foundation of trust. You create space for real connection. You become someone others turn to, not just for advice, but for warmth and strength. Language is powerful, and when you choose to speak positively, you change not just your path but the energy of everyone around you. So tomorrow morning, before the stress sets in, pause and say something powerful to yourself. "I can handle this. I can learn. I can grow." Because positivity isn't denial. It's courage in action, the decision to face challenges with a strong, open heart. Let your mornings begin with words that lift, not limit. And watch how your life begins to reflect the energy you've spoken into it. We invite you to share in the comments, what positive words do you tell yourself each day? Let's inspire one another to speak better, live better, and become stronger together. 9. Ponder your dreams before rushing into the demands of the day. Take a moment each morning to reflect on your dream. Not a fleeting wish, not a fantasy, but a real dream, the one rooted in your values, your soul, your vision for life. A dream is more than an image in your mind. It is your compass. It holds your deepest intentions, your passions, your potential, your purpose. To live fully is to know your dream clearly, to see it, feel it, and walk toward it with conviction. Try this. Close your eyes and imagine your dream coming true. Feel the success, the fulfillment, the pride, not just in the outcome but in the journey that brought you there. You'll begin to realize it's not only the destination that matters, it's the becoming. It's the steps, the effort, the transformation that gives your dream its deepest Meaning. Dreams challenge us. They ask us to rise, to believe in something bigger than fear, to walk unfamiliar roads, to trust the unknown. They aren't soft or easy. They demand action. They ask for commitment. And they test your perseverance. The first steps, they're often the hardest. You'll face doubt, setbacks, loneliness, but keep going, because when you one day look back, you'll see those early struggles were the most valuable parts of the journey. Live the journey. Not just the dream. Your dream isn't just a fantasy, it's a reflection of your deepest truths. It holds your core values, your passions, and the quiet aspiration you were born to pursue. That's why taking time each morning to reflect on your dream is so powerful. It's not just about setting goals, it's about reconnecting with your why. Why does this dream matter to you? Once you answer that, your path becomes clearer. Your resolve becomes stronger. And even when the road gets hard, that clarity will carry you. Consider the story of a young artist who held fast to her dream through years of rejection. She began simply, painting with heart, but receiving little recognition. Still, she never gave up. Every failure became fuel. Every no became a brushstroke in her evolution. Eventually, the world noticed. Collectors, critics, and audiences began to see what she saw all along. That her art wasn't just about beauty, it was about emotion, depth, and change. She didn't just pursue a dream. She became the dream through patience, persistence, and purpose. Let this remind you, dreams evolve. And that's okay. Life is dynamic. And your dream should grow with you. It doesn't mean giving up on your original vision. It means checking in, making sure your dream still reflects who you are today. Because the dream isn't only about the final destination. It's about the daily act of choosing, trying, growing, the stumbles, the small wins, the quiet breakthroughs. Each morning, when you reflect on your dream, don't just ask what you want to achieve. Ask, who am I becoming? That's where the real magic lies. And so, we've walked together through the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, a guide not just for the mind, but for the soul, from discipline and service to self-belief and present moment awareness. Each morning holds a choice to lead yourself, rather than be led by fear, distraction, or noise. With Stoicism as your compass, you can start each day in silence, in strength, and in clarity. You can meet life with grace, even when it's hard. You can build meaning, one thought, one action, one breath at a time. So now we ask you, what would your mornings look like if you began them with calm, control, and purpose? How might your days and your life transform? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know how Stoic wisdom is shaping your journey. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Capsule. This is just the beginning. We have so many more lessons, insights, and moments of clarity to share with you. Thank you for watching. Keep rising, and we'll see you in the next video.